Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. We're starting here with chapstick as we usually do. No face paint on, as you can tell. I just had an inkling to play with makeup. I don't know if anybody has an interest in this palette, Glam Babe from Trend Beauty. This came in a subscription box. But I look at this palette and it looks like a nice palette. I believe this is the one that said dip your brush in water and then tap the brush in the shadow, which to me was just completely weird. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just put the brush in it and put it on. We're going to take Vibes, this shade here, and it picks up fine. Why were they saying put your brush in water and then tap it in the shadow? That was one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. And someone commented, don't do that. That's going to make hard pan. And I wasn't going to do that, but it just seemed so weird for them to say to do that with these shadows. And it's going on fine. They seem smooth. Went on really easy. We're going to flip the brush over. We're going to go into this one here, and this is Foxy. And we're going to put that over here. Yeah, they go on just fine. That was just weird. Why did it say that? First, we're going to take this shade here, and that one is Charming. I did not tap off. We're just going to press that in, and now we're going to flip it over and take this shade here, which is Bossy, and we're going to put that over here. So these are Esum V33. And for this eye, we're going to take this shade here, which is Obsessed, and we're tapping straight in. Oh, that's powdery. And this is the first matte on this side. I think this one looks almost like a matte, but then it doesn't. And so we're taking this one still, and I didn't tap off this time, and we're going to use this as our transition shade. That blends out really nicely. And for this is a clean one, we're going to go into this shade here, which is Original, and we're going to just do the same thing on this side. This is a Makeup Forever 234, and we're going to go into Saucy, this shade here. And we're going to put that, I'm going to take this little brush. This is an Esum it's a V27, and we're going into that same shade. And we're going to just see if we can just deepen this corner, and we're going to just feather in between to blend those two shades. We're going back with the brush we use on this side for transition and just blending that. Seems to be something missing. The brush that had that red on it, Saucy, just to bring this up a little higher right here. And that's what I think was missing. Going back to the brush we use for transition, not adding any more shadow. We're going to use Chic, this shade here, because we haven't used it yet. So this side is going to look funky. And I don't have anything on my lower lash line. We're going to put this under here. For this side, I'm going to come down and take this shade here, which is Extra, X-TRA. And we're just going to put this under here. I'm going to use Pat McGrath's Single Shadow. Came in something somewhere. And this is Dark Matter, and it's a black or gray based black. I don't know, because y'all know I have issues with color perception. We're going to take this brush. This is an Esum T03, and we're just going to swipe it. And we're going to put that on our upper lash line. So that is this. I'm going to do my brows. I'm going to edit that part out, and then we will come back and you'll see what it looks like with the brows done. For the sake of the video, I did do my brows with the Lauder brow pencil, and I remember always saying how creamy this was. I was wrong. I put this on, it was scratching my skin, and I'm like, what the hell? I remembered I didn't put on skincare when I woke up. And so my face is dry. I mean, it's moist, it's not dry. But I'm so used to having skincare on that the brow pencil, it just goes over. But this, this is not as creamy as, it's not creamy at all. I was going to say not as creamy as I thought it was, but this is not creamy at all. And I heard it. And so for concealer, for the sake of the video, both of these are Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Concealer. I put the 4W right here, and I put the 4 in here and around here. And look at that. I don't need to set it. It does self-set. I didn't set it with powder. It blends in. It looks just less red than it did prior to me putting it on. And I love this concealer for that. And I would just put this on like this and go out. My other concealer, the NARS, because the tone is just a tad off, I do need to put powder on top of it for everything to blend in. But even around my eye area, to me, it's fine. Still a little discoloration here, but that's okay because I do have discoloration under my eyes, and to me this looks natural, and to me this looks natural. So I'm going to stop babbling. These are the first 2 looks with the Glam Babe Trend Beauty, but I'm going to wash it off, come back, and we'll do 2 more looks. I am really liking these. I think it pulled together, putting the concealer on underneath and putting the black on the upper lash line. I think it would pull together even more if I put on mascara, but because we're going to wash this off, we're not going to do all of that. So these are the first 2 looks. We use these 4 shades here, and we use these 4 shades here. And so we'll come back and we'll do something else. Do not recommend washing your face, not putting on eye cream and then putting on concealer. My under eyes are not happy. Did the brows again, put concealer on again, and I was looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, what did we not use? We did not use this row, and we did not use these 2 here. So we're going to try to do that. Scott Barnes number 63, and we're going to take Hollywood, this shade here. We're going to flip it over and take Dazzle. Hourglass number 3. This is Extra. Oh, we used Extra. Yeah, we did use Extra. Taking the brush with the first shade, and we're just pulling that over. We're going to flip it over, go into this shade, which is High Matinee. This one seems to be a little drier than the other shades I've used so far in this palette. Going back with that first shade and just pulling that over. Taking a clean Hourglass number 3, going into Fame. Blending in between. Flipping the brush over, going into this shade here. Lips. Blending in between. We're going to take a Scott Barnes number 62 and go into Charisma, spelled with a K, and that's going to be our transition shade for both sides. And we're going to do small circular motions on the outer corner, not adding any additional shadow on the brush. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to take that same shade with this brush. This is the Esum V31, and we're going to run this along our lower lash line under both eyes. That same Pat McGrath shade, and using the same brush from the previous look, and we're going to run this along our upper lash line on both eyes. These are the final looks for the final shades in this palette. We have used every shade in this palette, and I know people are not a fan of that, but this is what we have from these looks. Very easy palette to use. I did not have any fallout from any of the shades. Everything applied really nicely. The one shade, I forget which one it was already, seemed drier than the others, but maybe it's my skin because it's not happy with the lack of skincare today. But I do like this palette. I'm not feeling any itchiness or burning or anything, so that's really good. It is nice having all of these shades in this palette. There only seems to be 2, maybe 3 mattes. Everything else seems to be either metallic or shimmer, and so some people may not like that, but very easy to work with. I do like the looks that I created. I think everything blends well into each other. I don't really think you can go wrong doing a look with this palette. Even with this shade here, just run it on a lower lash line if you don't know what to do with it. But I am really digging it. I'm liking how they all showed up, even this one here, which is right here. And so I'm going to keep this palette for now, for a little while. And let me know what you think, and you'll see me soon. Thanks. Chapstick. If I look tired, y'all, it is because I am. I laid down about 5 hours ago, and I was sleepy. My brain wouldn't shut off. I have not been to sleep yet. And my alarm is set to go off in 45 minutes. So I said I might as well get up and knock out some more videos. I do have a therapy appointment today, and while I'm out, I'm going to do a return to Sephora and other videos on the docket to do, but we'll see. I'm sure I'll pass out this afternoon like I did yesterday. I got up yesterday. Actually, I stayed up yesterday to vote and make phone calls dealing with my mom, because you got to call places when they open at 8 o'clock. So that really threw my sleep schedule off. And so, yeah, so that's why my voice is the way it is, because I'm tired. It's going to be a Mountain Dew day. This is a long way of saying hi, welcome, thank you for being here, or still being here. We're going to do the Violet Voss palette, Wild Dahlia, fun sized. I purchased this from BoxyCharm because I thought it was really cute, and it looks really easy to use. A lot of my brushes are drying. And so I'm pulling out other brushes, and I'm really running low because I do wash them after every use. But anyway, when I looked at this, this is a quad, this can be a quad, this can be a quad. So we're going to start with, this is a travel blender brush from Scott Barnes, but it's stubby and it's dense. And so my eyes are already primed. We're going to go in with this shade here. They do not have names. This is a metallic shimmer, whatever you want to call it. So that's why I'm taking a stubby, dense brush for that one. And this is going to go, oh, this is a, okay, chunky monkey here. Yeah, but it picks up. I wanted to do inner corner first. I was going to put this on the inner corner, but maybe we'll do brow bone. I did do my brows with the L'Oreal brow pencil. Tapping out my primer. Underneath my eyes, I did use the hydrating eye cream. I do not have concealer on under my eyes, and I didn't put concealer here yet. And so this is my wake up face. The only thing I did do for skincare, because I did a full skincare before I laid down and I never went to sleep, I just put a little more face cream right here because this was a little crusty. And no, I wasn't drooling, but just because of my eczema and how it comes down to here. And so I just put a little more face cream like right here, and that was it. And so let's get this on because my lids are feeling tacky. So this is going to go all over the lid, and this is why I got a wide brush. I am feeling fallout, and I am seeing fallout. This was fine tapping it here, but once I started layering it upon itself, that's when it falls out because it doesn't have much to stick to. And so we're going to just try to press more. I should have maybe used a sponge tip applicator, but again, once you layer it on itself, it's still gonna fall out. Anyway, we're gonna take a brush, and that is not brushing away. We're gonna take, this is a Scott Barnes number 63 brush, and we're gonna go into this shade right here. This is very, very lightly. Oh gosh. And you know what? I said I was gonna put this for brow bone highlight, didn't I? Yeah, so we're gonna take the tip of the brush. We're just gonna roll it. We're gonna tap that off, and we're going to tap just under the brow. And that's all we're gonna do. We're not gonna swipe, we're not gonna blend, because when we do our transition shade, that brush will blend it. So we're just gonna we'll leave that right there. We're gonna take a Scott Barnes number 62, and we're first gonna go in with, I wanna just kind of go in with this one. Let's do this one first, just to see what happens. Maybe we'll put this underneath, even though that's kind of there, not there also. And we're just gonna put this here, and I'm already wanting something else to deepen this corner. That's where this would come in handy, so maybe we'll do that later. But I need to get something over here because my puff lid is sticking to my mobile lid. I'm not liking this right here either. So I'm going to go back to that brush and we're going to, I was looking at this, that shadow did come off. There is some remnants, but for the most part, this does come off. And we're going to press and it's not sticking, damn it, because we put that shadow there. Okay, that is not sticking and it's just falling out. If this gets in my eye, I think we got a little bit there. I'm gonna just leave it and I'm closing my eye, like do not go in the eye. Carolyn, don't go in the eye. Oh yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah, and I just got more fallout and it's not gonna sweep away. That's this eye, except for this shade. And we're just gonna take, this is a domed shadow brush, Hourglass number 9. And it looks like it has shimmer particles in it. But I don't know if that's from this transforming over or not. And I noticed it before. So I really do think it has shimmer in it. This is my first time using this palette. This is a really there, not there look if you just want to put something on without looking overly done. Using these 4 shades, you cannot mess up if you're my complexion. Because as you see, the only one that shows up is that pale light shade and that shimmer shade. Even this one is not showing up. And it is shimmer in it because even though I'm breaking through the top layer, I still see shimmer in it. We're going to move over to the next one. We're going to take this shade first. This already seems like something I've done before, like with the gold and then a burgundy next to it. And we're going to just press this right here. I think I've done quite a few looks with this color story that I'm about to do. Golden and burgundy. I think I like that color combination. What do y'all think? Because I feel like I do it quite a bit. This one? This one. I'm going to take this one. This is me sleep deprived. And hopefully I won't get a migraine later. Sleep deprivation is one of my many, many triggers. And if so, I'll take a migraine med and keep sipping Mountain Dew. The migraine med, excuse me, makes me loopy. And so the Mountain Dew will help me stay alert if I need to be, meaning if I need to be out driving. Otherwise, the migraine med knocks me on my tan ass. Like it knocks me out for like 2 to 4 hours. I was going to say 2 to 3 hours, but 2 to 4 hours. But then when I wake up, migraine is gone. If I take the migraine med at the onset of the migraine. When I don't, the migraine can last. The longest was 6 days. And that was brutal. Woke up with it, went to sleep with it for 6 days, and taking the meds and being loopy and non-functional. It was horrible. So that was this shade here, which I'm loving. We're going to flip it over. Yeah, and we're going to go into this one, this dual chromeness right here. And I didn't mean to take that center shade that far over because I wanted to see how this one would shift. And so I'm going to pull it like half. Oh, you know what? That reminds me of, it was something I just used. Shit. And I remember doing the look. And when I was doing my final thoughts, I said some of the shades, it was the Mission Triple X Martine Cosmetics palette. One of the shades I was saying I knew it was a dual chrome, but some shades in the palette I didn't know until I used them, because when you swipe it and you see that color, because the shade looked green, where this one it does look copperish a little bit, brownish a little bit, but that one it just looks light green. And when I swiped it, I'm like, oh shit, that's brown. And it was so pretty though. And I just love that shade, and I really enjoy that palette. We're just going to do some blending up top just to start our blend for our transition shade. We're going to wipe off the brush we use for this shade, and we're going to go into this one, which has some of that. I'm just rubbing along this edge because that transferred over. So we're going to go into this shade, And we're going to use this as our transition. Why was I going to put that over there? Because it looks like it ain't nothing there, that's why. And we're going to just run this along the top edge initially. And then we're going to let the brush flex and blend itself out. Let that shade blend itself out. I don't know if this is my first Violet Voss palette. And you want to hear something wacky that us trolls do sometimes? I do believe I had purchased this before from BoxyCharm, and then I sold it in my Mercari store, and I had forgot all about it. And then when I purchased it again, and I received the shipment notification, I'm like, didn't I have that already? I was like, oh, guess it was meant for me to have it. This right here, I'm gonna take this same shade, and we're gonna put this over here because this is just like too bland. Like, what's going on over here? Absolutely nothing. See, that looks a little bit better already, right? I do think, as of right now, this palette is a keeper. Not necessarily for this shade. This might be a nice blend out shade. This one is a nice blend out shade because it doesn't show up. But this one right here is also a nice blend out shade. And actually, it's reminding me of shades in the Natasha Denona Ayana palette. And I am going to redo those looks because that video, y'all, seriously, I was so embarrassed. I was playing around with my lighting again. And the first looks I did in that video was with the Ayana palette, and it was so blown out. And I kept saying, see how this color looks this way and the pan looks this way. And when I was watching the video on my TV, I'm just like, damn, you can't even see the colors. And I was so embarrassed. And so I am going to redo that. The other looks after that were better as far as lighting because I adjusted my lighting again. See, that looks better, right? Yeah, but that was so embarrassing. And so I'm going to redo those looks after this clip so you can really see what I was talking about. And then I thought maybe I'll just do like forehead swatches or something. I said, you know what? No, I'm going to redo the looks so you can really see what I kept saying. Do you see this? Do you see this? And I'm looking at it like they can't see shit because the lighting was awful. We're going to take this on our lower lash line, and it is a shimmer, metallic, whatever. And we're going to take a thin brush. This is a Makeup Forever 210. It's actually a smudger brush. And so we're going to place it and roll it. And we're going to tap it off. And we're going to press and wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. That dumb song. We do have another one of those. We're going to take this one just to be funky, just to see if we can lighten up. And I am just kind of like stabbing it, being a little rough with it. And we're going to do the same thing. I do think it added something. It's not as bland under here. You can tell, I think. I can tell, but I'm hoping you can tell that there is something under here now. The brush we use for transition for first this shade and then this one, we are going to just do this first and do that second. Oh, I have to. This side is still too bland for me. We're going to go, do I want to take the brown or the black? I'm going to do, it might be too dark, but we're going to take the black just a tiny bit. Because this is just, there's just nothing here. Well, nothing is really showing up. But it's just not enough going on over here. And the side that doesn't have shadow on it, this side that doesn't have shadow on it, we're just going to sweep over, thus creating more fallout. Just to kind of blend that. I like that. This I like. So if you don't like a look, just kind of finagle it a little bit. And whatever's left on the brush, we're going to, and I really don't think, is anything left on here? I really don't think so. I'm not seeing anything. And I'm not going to add more. I do. Oh, here we go. I'm really having to press. I like this eye now. I just needed something more to happen. So that's done. We're going to take, this is the Esom something T03. We're going to take this and use this for upper lash line on both eyes. I'm going to edit this part out because I yacked enough. Sorry, not sorry. We're doing a tiny wing with that shadow. Just a small one. I like that. We don't need to do that on this side except if we want to connect it. because we have the black underneath and the black here. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna show you. You might not be able to see it though, I don't know. Because I swept the black over, that black fell out under here. So right here, this whole patch, I see this shade, and along here, I see this black, and that's from feathering it over this flaky shade. I do like to understand why things turn out the way they do. I like both of these looks. My first time using the Voss Wild Dahlia palette. I like this look once we finagled it. This is a keeper, even though I'm pretty sure it looks very similar to this one. But I'm really digging how in this one palette, this shade will play off of either one of these. This is good for a transition. You can see it, whereas this one you couldn't see it at all, which makes it just a good blend out shade. I do like this just stamped where I put it for my brow bone, and I should do it over here, but I'm not. But yeah, this is good for that, so it does serve a purpose. This is great for deepening, and it's good for upper lash line and lower lash line too if you want to. But I'm really digging this little palette. This blended out really nice above here, and it's a nice gradient, and I am liking how these shades work together. I'm liking how this brought a little bit of lightness but not too much brightness to my inner corner area. I don't always like a really bright inner corner area. And yeah, I'm just really digging it. So that'll be it for this palette. This is Violet Voss. This is one eye. This is the other eye. We've used every shade in here. If you have Wild Dahlia, let me know what you think about it, and you will see me in the next clip. Thanks. Chapstick. We're trying this again, y'all. I did put on the hydrating eye cream underneath my eyes. My brows are done with the L'Oreal brow pencil. I don't know if I said it earlier. Yeah, I did. The clip I did earlier today, I still haven't been to sleep yet. So I'm like severely sleep deprived. But I was so freaking embarrassed. So we're going to try this again. The Ayana palette. These are what the shades look like. I am so embarrassed. When I edited, it looked fine. And when I watched it on my TV, I was like, oh my gosh. I am so sorry. And I'm thankful for those of you who messaged me and was like, did you do something different? I couldn't see the colors. And I'm like, what? And so I really want you to see what I was talking about when I kept saying, the colors look different, they look different. And I'm like, they can't see them. That was so embarrassing. But these are what the colors look like. This is what they look like. And so you see how they do look a little different depending on lighting, but they still more or less look the same. So this does look like a silver gray. To me, this looks like a deep brown. But we're going to get to it. A lot of my brushes are drying from doing all the previous clips because I did all of those. Everything you see in this video was done within like a 2-day period. These are Fenty 230. This is a Sephora Pro Drawing Blending Brush number 42. By the time I realized I really liked it, they didn't have it anymore. And I should have known because when I purchased it, I got it on sale. But I really love that brush. Yeah, we're going to take this shade in the middle. And we're going to put that on the first half of this lid. And these are smooth enough to just swipe them over. They are not chunky. There is no fallout. It just glides right across my lid anyway. We're going to flip it over and we're going to go into this shade. That's what it looks like on the brush. And this is the same texture. It just glides right over the lid. We're going to take a clean one and we're going to go into this shade right here. We're going to sweep in between to blend. We're going to turn it over to this side. And we're going to go into this one. And this has Kick Up, the same as this shade does. And we're going to tap this over here on this side. Blending in between. This shade did give me fallout. I should have tapped off and I did not. It looks like something funky right here. Like right there. Is it the shadow or is my skin just tired of me doing all these different looks? I don't know. You see that? Like a bump or something right here, or a patch or something. And I kept putting more shadow in it and it's not going in. Like right here, there's a line that just won't go away. And the more I pat it, the more prominent it is. I'm gonna take this brush because there's nothing on it yet and just sweep away this shade here that gave me fallout. So now that you can see the color, it does look like a greenish silver. I thought it was silver, but on my lid, to me, it looks green. And I'm really hoping this is showing up on y'all end. Like, for real. I can't do this again. I was so embarrassing. And in the pan, this to me looks to be a dark brown. But on my lid, I don't know what color that is. It doesn't look like a dark brown. I don't know. And this looks like a mid-tone brown, but it's looking, I don't know what these shades are. I don't know what the colors are. So we're going to take this brush and we're going to go into this shade here, which is powdery as well. And we're going to just use this as our transition shade. That blended like super nice. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're turning the brush and we're doing the tip of the brush. And we're going to put this up here. We're going to take a Scott Barnes number 60 and we're going to go into this shade and use for upper lash line on this side first to see if I can get it there. I want to do that here, but I don't think it's going to show up, but we're going to try it. So we're just coating the tip of the brush. I'm going to edit this process out as well. It is so hard for me to get in this corner right here, even though it is a slanted brush. Like, how do y'all do that? I'm gonna take this brush. This is going to cause the line to be thick because it's a thick brush. You see that? This is a Scott Barnes Travel Angle Smudge Brush. And we're taking that same shade. I'm gonna edit out putting this under both lower lash lines. So that is it for both of these looks, and I'm really hoping y'all can see these colors. First half, this lid. Second half, this lid. First half, this lid. Second half, this lid. This shade, upper lash line and lower lash line. And so this is what we have for the looks with the Ayana palette. This is nice and simple. They're not there. If you like the they're not there looks. This I really like. This shade surprises me, but I do like how it mixes. And this, for my complexion, is a great blend out shade because it blended it out perfectly, but it's not a color. But I'm really digging this palette and I definitely am going to keep it. And you will see me in the next clip. It's upside down. Chapstick. We're going to jump in as quickly as possible because this video is almost an hour long before this clip. Violet Voss Wild Dahlia. Lids are primed. No face paint on, as you can probably tell. Not even concealer. No. Lower lash line under this eye is this shade here. Lower lash line under this eye is this shade here. And we're going to put both of those on the lid and probably deepen the outer corners with this one. Maybe do transition that shade or maybe not. Hourglass number 3. We're going to take this shade all over this lid. Let me know down below if you're liking this style video with me doing multiple looks with multiple palettes, or do you prefer just one palette, 5 looks, or something like this? My personal opinion, I'm liking doing different palettes in one video. I really am, because I feel like it gives variety. And if you have a certain palette, I turn the brush this way to just blend up a little bit. I think it just adds variety, even though there's variety because there's more than one look anyway. But I think it just adds a little more interest, I think. So it's like, okay, she did this palette. Oh, what's she going to do next? That kind of thing. A clean hourglass number 3, and we're going into this shade. This one is the dual chrome. It's green, and now it's not. And I've been wanting to put this all over the lid. And I'm thinking I have this color in another palette, and I think it is safe to say that this is one of my favorite dual chrome shades, the green to burgundy brown shift. And maybe because it's a deeper color, such as Plain Jane, there's only a few shades I really liked out of there, because a lot of the shades were light shades, and even though they were dual chrome or multi-chrome, they had a light base, and so I tended not to use them a lot because I prefer deeper colors. And so you see this, and I'm sure I'm gonna have to do some swatches, because I am so sure I have this shade or something very similar to it. I'm trying to bring it up, but it's just traveling. I'm not even gonna put a transition over here because it looks like it's a transition. Am I right, or am I right? So this would be a very easy one and done. And I'm still just blending it further up still, since it has a built-in transition shade. That is gorgeous. And I'm not even, I do still want to do the black on the outer corner. I'm going to take this brush and just blend this up a little bit more. We're going to take, why was I not prepared? We're going to take Scott Barnes number 62, and we are going to take this shade here as a transition for this eye. I was going to say something and I forgot, because I'm rushing, and so I'm feeling a little scattered, and I'm sleep deprived. I'm functioning off of 3 hours of sleep, and I'm exhausted, and my body is hurting. I don't know if it's rebelling against lack of sleep. I laid down, I was sleepy. 3 hours later, I woke up like wide awake, but I was still tired. So how is that? You know? Yeah, so I am liking this. I'm going to take this same shade, and I'm just going to run this under here. And actually, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side too. And these are... I want to say this is not colorful. This to me actually looks kind of bland. And I think because it is all one shade. So I am going to take Scott Barnes number 63, and we're going to go into this black, and we are going to put this on the outer corner because I'm wanting something else to happen over here. Oh yeah, this is going to do it. This is going to do it. I'm tapping in the rounded edge part, and actually let me see, I want to do upper lash line, but I don't want to do a liquid liner, and using this as a liner shade is going to take some time, so I'm trying to think of the quickest way. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take some more on the other side of the brush, and we're just going to put just a little bit right here. I don't know. I think I might have just messed this up. So we're just kind of inside. Yeah. Do that thing, troll. All right, and we're just feathering inward. This is a dark look. I need to do something now in the transition area, so we're going to take Scott Barnes number 61, and we're taking That black shade might be too much. I think I'm about to mess up the look. I'm going as lightly as I can. And we're just going to just tap right here. I don't like it how it looks on me when I bridge a halo slash spotlight eye. It just does something funky like right here, and I think it's the spacing. I'm tapping back in, well, swiping back into this shade, and we're going to put that back here. So I think it's just my eye shape. Sometimes I think it's the puffiness here, and then sometimes maybe because there's not a lot of space between here and my brow, that when this part is dark, to me it just doesn't look right. And that's what happens when I bridge it. Okay, I like this better. And whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to overlap that black just so that area is not dark, even though I liked that it did add a little something something. And so I do like that. And the tip of the brush, we are just going over this black line just to dull it down just a little bit, because I wanted a little something. Yes, I'm liking that. I am going to edit out. You know what? We're going to be done. I kind of want to do something over here, but just imagine these looks with black liner. And so I'm just like trying to just cut out a lot of time here. But I did want to see this all over the lid. I wanted you to see that all over the lid. I can almost swear I have that shade somewhere. And I wanted to see this red, this burgundy, whatever this was, all over the lid as well. These two paired together, actually this with this one, or that one will look nice because this goes with all three. I think I said that in a previous clip. So just imagine this with black liner, lashes, and that'll be it. So another look with the Voss Wild Dahlia palette. Thank you for watching. Excuse me, troll. In the next video, and make sure you let me know down below if you like this style with multiple looks with multiple palettes, or if you prefer multiple looks with one palette. And if you're not subscribed and you're still here, thank you, and please do subscribe, leave comments, like, go through my playlist, all of that good stuff. And seriously, this is this eye really quick. This is this one really quick, and you will see me in the next video. Thank you.